So we've started creating a pivot table. Now, there's some defaults that take place as you're clicking and dragging to set up the summarized pivot table. Take a look. Now, I've still got the example file open here, and I've got the pivot table that I left off with in the previous lecture. Now, think about this for a moment. When I grabbed sales, I dragged that down into the value section. Now, when I dragged it down into the value section, what did Excel do with that sales value? What did it do? What type of calculation did it perform? Yeah, if you look closely there, I can see it's a sum of sales. It says it right there. So default, when I dragged that sales down there, Excel was like, hey, that's a number. I'm going to go ahead and sum that. That was just its default behavior. But take a look at this. What if I grab sum of sales and drag that back out? I don't want it. And let's get rid of that. But you know what? Now I've got the products in different months. I'd like to know, how many. I want to get a count. How many of these products did we sell for each month? Well, how am I going to get that? I'm going to try this. I'm going to grab type, which is the frozen yogurt, ice cream, popsicles, tasty treats. I'll grab that. And I'm going to drag it into the value section. Now, this is a number, so it's not summing it. It can't sum it because it's not a number, so it's just counting it. This is default behavior. Excel sees a number, default it sums it. Excel sees text, default it'll count it. So now I can see that, and this is super slick, frozen yogurt sold 18 for the month of January, ice cream was 24, and so on. I'm getting a simple count of the different products broken up for each month. Now remember, these are just default behaviors. All I did was just click and drag and drop these down there, and Excel was like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do if you got text. This is what I'm going to do if you got numbers. I'm going to sum it or I'm going to count it. Well, you know what? I want to move beyond those defaults. So let me clean this up a little bit. I'm going to get rid of the count of type. Just drag that back up. I'm going to get rid of month. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take month and put it into rows. I'm going to get rid of type. Let's get rid of that. So now I've just got my months there. All right. What do I want to know about the months? Well, maybe I want to know the total sales. So no problem. I'll grab sales. I'll drag that down there. Ding. I've now got a sum of sales. Remember, default behavior. It's numeric. It sums it. Well, I don't want a sum. I want to get an average sale for the month. Okay, so I'm going to come down here where it says sum of sales. I'll give that a left click. I get a little flyout menu here. And the first option, actually bottom option here, is value field settings. I'll give that a click. This is going to open up my value field settings window. And I'm going to change this from sum to average. And just note that there's several different aggregate or summarizing type values or functions that you can use here. I'll do an average. And now I've got a new column there called average of sales. Maybe I'll just call it sales average. You can rename it here if you like. I'll hit OK. And I've now got an average sale. And all I did there was just drag sales down below, give it a click, go into value field settings, and change it. Let's try another one. You know what? I want to keep the average, but I'm going to grab sales a second time and drag it down there. So no big surprise. Hey, I've got sum of sales again. All right, great. That's default, remember? But I want to change that. How do we change it? Well, we go back to where I got sum of sales. I'll give that a left click. I'm going to go back into value field settings. And let's say, I've got some other summarizing functions I can use here, but I've also got this additional tab called show values as. All right, let's give that a click. Here's what I want to do this time. I don't want a sum. I don't want an average. I don't want a maximum, minimum, and a count or whatever. I want to get a month over month. I want to know the difference. Did we increase between January and February or between March and February? I want to get a month difference calculation here. Take a look. So underneath show values as, I'm going to change it from no calculation. I'm going to change it to, I'm going to do a difference from. Let's do percent, actually. Let's do percent difference from. So a percent difference from, and we're going to say our base field is going to be our months, and I'm going to compare each month to the previous month. So take the base field of month, such as February, and compare it against the base item, which is the previous. So February against January, March against February, April against March, and so on. I'll hit OK. And I've now got a percent difference month over month. So between February and January, we were up 4%. Between April and March, these 2 months, we went up quite a bit. Between March and February, we went down considerable amount there. So another simple change. Drop the field into the value section, give it a click, left click, go into value field settings. You can use just the standard summarizing calculations, or you can hop up to show values as and get into some more robust operations. I want to get a percentages of the grand total. I want to do a difference from. I want to do a running total. You got several operations that you can arrange here within your pivot table calculations. So try this out. You get the defaults. Text, summing. Text, you get to count it. Numbers, you're going to sum. And beyond that, you can do some other complex calculations here, all through the value field settings window. So try this out.